What would it be like if we had a life review with no physical ascension? Whew. I'll say it again. What would it be like if we had a life review with no physical ascension? A lot of times people say when we leave the body that we go to a place and we get guidance after we've passed away, after we've gone back to spirit. But we're looking at some energies that are really, really showing up broad and wide and amazing. Such a beautiful harmonization of energies through the automatic writing and the Akashic records. So when we look at this experience with life review with no physical ascension, we find that we have opportunities before we leave our body, and then we're able to reconcile in a different way of being. That beingness is beautiful. That conscious light energy is always present to give us more guidance, more awareness, more strength, more fortitude, more innate intelligence, and so much more. So when we're looking at this consciousness, as we're looking at kind of some different experiences that might come through that review, that life review while we're still here. That life review is so powerful. So when we start looking at some of the events of our lives and some of the things that have happened or these experiences in our lives, and you could, if you want to, you could go in and you could kind of think back, even while you're listening to this video, you could think about some things that wish you could have done it different, wish it could have been a little bit better, or wish it would have been something else, all these wishes, you know. But I think for each one of us, with the experiences in our lives, we have opportunities to just, be more, a little bit more neutral with some of these events in our lives, even if it was glorious and fabulous, or maybe it was just really sad and all these other things that were in your field, but you went through it. You went through all of these experiences. Often we look at some of these experiences as lessons in life, sometimes like I really did bad, or I've been, I was a stinker, or, or maybe people who are incarcerated. There's all these different ways that people can come back up, can rise back up into the body and say, I'm ready to have a different experience in my life. And all of these experiences in life are just lessons. When we look at it, in essence, when we really look at the lessons of our life, through the experiences that we've gone through, sometimes we're like, I'm embarrassed, or I'm ashamed, or I'm happy, and it's been glorious, but all of these words we're using are really bands of energy. But even when we're looking at a life review with no physical ascension, we have opportunities to gain higher insight. Some people say on this planet it's a school of thought. It's a school of thought. It's like a school. It's like you kept going back to school, then you're going back to school again. But these lessons are coming through, and they're so powerful. And sometimes we think, well, I think I did something really wrong, or I stealed something from somebody. It could be time or preciousness, or maybe an object or something. But all of these lessons are so good for us because over time we realize that we're not doing that anymore. That we're gaining more insights, we're getting more goodness in our field. And so these experiences that we have are so rich. And so even with it's something that's really bad or something that's really awesome, is that we find that all of that is a neutral space of energy that we're working with. And over time, through the next event, which is the conscious light of reflection, is we just start reflecting over some of those experiences. And sometimes it could be years and years and years until you go into reflection. So it's not, sometimes like people can get it real quick. It's like super fast, super immediate. But for others, even myself, I had maybe a 20-year band of energy that wasn't really helping me, but it was lessons. So through all of those lessons I had in life, I'm like, I'm not in that class anymore. It's kind of like I got an A plus or I got stars, or I got a new star system because I was able to look at some of the stories of my life, some of the lessons that I've gone through, and I'm so appreciative. Even if I was in a gauntlet of so many different things that weren't working for me, or maybe they were working for me, but I couldn't see it that way. So all of these experiences with the reflection is how we look at some of the events of our lives, and just in a really beautiful band of energy that's saying it's good. You're learning more things. You're learning more about your life. You're learning more about your experiences. You're learning more about achievement and spirituality, or you're maybe working with your family, your children, your grandparents. All of these lessons come through, and with that life review with no physical ascension means that we're getting to reconcile through reflection some of the stories of our life while we're here, still here before we go back to spirit. But all these energies are so amazing, and it feels lighter when you start noticing that band of energy I was working with, or some of the events of my life, it's like gone. I acknowledge it. It's kind of like, I went to first grade, second grade, third grade, and then I went to the 11th grade, or whatever way we look at it. But all of these things are helping us. So with reflection, we look at the stories of the life of an experience, and then we just acknowledge that we're doing really well. We're doing really well. And sometimes people will say, well, my lesson is complete. Oh, no, there's going to be more lessons, because you're really kind of like waking up into your heart space. So the heart space is really kind of coming through so beautifully, because now you've had some bands of energies that have already been cleared and released. And then now we're going more into that heart space. So reflection is really good to look at some of the things, even if we were bad or good or whatever, it's all neutral. It is really, it's truly all neutral. And the next point I'm going to bring into that conscious light is with the automatic writing. A lot of some of the things from reflection maybe come through your Akashic records. Every once in a while, people ask, "What are the Akashic records?" There's many different ways. Mine is different, than everybody else, and everybody's a little bit different how they approach things. But Akashic records for me would be like a synchronicity. It could be like deja vu. It could be precognitive. It could be I got a gut feeling. It could be something like that. I got a gut feeling. And you might even get information through the Akashic records when a person has passed, and then you get a little bit more guidance from somebody that's back in spirit. So Akashic records it's not a space of time that we have here on earth. It's just a band of energy that we can always work with. So, with this idea of automatic writing, a lot of the events that happen in a person's life, and moving into reflection and learning lessons and finding that sense of neutrality moving forward, is that we find that the automatic writing, for me, for myself, is once I go through an experience, go through reflection, and then working with the Akashic records, then all of that energy starts to really start showing up after all of these things have happened. Let's just say I've been doing the automatic writing for 15 years, and even since back in 2008, that some of those written pieces really feel, it's just so interesting. Even now thinking about it, some of the written pieces from January 1st of 2008, that's when all that started. But some of it seems like it's precognitive. Sometimes it looks like it's from the past with some of these written pieces. But for myself, when I'm in an event, I just really put my hands on the keyboard and see what the information is coming through. And the automatic writing is just a simple space of being. It's simply being in a state of awareness, and a little bit of state of kind of like, I'm ready. I'm ready to get some new insights. And the automatic writing just flows in so beautifully. And I know for some people they don't know how to do that, and so it's a process. But sometimes we could say automatic writing could also be like art. It could be a painting, it could be dance, it could be singing, it could be being a joyful experience, through that. But for myself, the automatic writing has always been that band of energy that has given me that beautiful breath of life, that beautiful state of consciousness, and it's so welcoming. When I look back from 2008 to some of my automatic writing pieces, I'm like looking looking at it seriously. I'm like, who wrote this stuff? Who wrote this? And where did it come from? And when I look back at that information of automatic writing at the very beginning of my career with automatic writing, I'm just like noticing that it's kind of like universal truths. Seriously, it's like universal truths that can go across any kind of state of consciousness that you're in. And all of the energy that I do with automatic writing, I've made agreements with a lot of the spiritual work that I do or the metaphysical work that I do, is that I want it to be a beautiful space of consciousness and awareness and love. And so I think even with these energies we're working with the life review with no physical ascension, going into an event or an experience and going into reflection and realizing the lessons of our lives are truly the breath of our life. All these lessons, we come in and we receive it. All these things are so powerful because we're all in a neutral stance. We're all in a neutral state of being. And then now, even with the automatic writing, I absolutely, absolutely appreciate the goodness in my field. It's, of course, we've all had all these different experiences in life, but it's really wonderful when we find that sense of neutrality and that beautiful conscious light and that beautiful awareness that automatic writing is really assisting us. And again, like I said, mine is after something happens, it takes me a while to process, and then I hit the keyboard with automatic writing. All of these things are helping us right now. So I think that's it for now. I just wanted to share this today. So have a great day and really wishing you the very best. If you would like to learn a little bit more about automatic writing or the Akashic Records, I'd be happy to share more with you as well. So have a great day and namaste.